Welcome back to the Dinar Community channel. In a move that many are now calling the most pivotal event in recent global currency history, multiple leading U.S. banks have reportedly verified July 7 as the formal launch date for what may be one of the largest financial restructurings in decades. For years, speculation surrounding the Iraqi Dinar IQD, Vietnamese Dong VND, and Zimbabwean Dollar ZWL has dominated niche investment circles, often brushed off as baseless hype or fringe theories. But now, major players like Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America are confirming internal protocols that signal a sharp shift from rumor to reality. This time, the evidence isn't subtle. Internal communications, appointment-only notifications, and significant physical and digital security upgrades at key banking centers all indicate this is a coordinated rollout, not just talk. Bank insiders compare the scale and strategy of what's unfolding to the type of mobilization usually reserved for national stimulus programs or emergency financial bailouts. It's no longer about speculation, it's about execution, readiness, and precision timing. July 7 isn't just another date on the calendar. It's shaping up to be the launchpad for a global monetary reset, one that could dramatically impact the lives of millions of currency holders around the world. For those who've quietly held onto these currencies for years, often in the face of doubt or ridicule, the call to act is here. If the synchronized operations and documented preparations are any indication, this moment could redefine how we think about global wealth redistribution. Signs of a major currency realignment. In recent weeks, large U.S. banks have been quietly initiating sweeping internal adjustments, all converging around the same focal point, July 7. Unlike previous surges of speculation, these developments are verifiable, documented, and strategically aligned across institutions. Independent sources from Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Fifth Third Bank have each reported nearly identical operational changes. Staff receiving high-level internal briefings, installation of new currency validation systems, targeted security enhancements at specific branches. Chase has gone as far as implementing geofencing protocols, locking down certain locations to protect scheduled currency redemption appointments. Entire teams, legal, branch management, are being reassigned to support exchange logistics. Meanwhile, clients are beginning to receive encrypted emails with QR codes, booking instructions, and legally binding documents. This is not internet gossip or blogger chatter. These are structured, top-level bank operations, rolling out in a synchronized, secure fashion. For the first time, financial experts are beginning to refer to these movements as a pre-planned, multinational financial realignment. The dinar awakens. Iraq's currency steps into the spotlight. For more than 10 years, the Iraqi dinar has been a symbol of both potential and controversy. Backed by one of the world's largest oil reserves, its economic upside was always there, but political risk and institutional instability kept mainstream investors away. That narrative is changing. The Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) has, in recent months, made substantial moves to meet global financial compliance standards, tightening transparency measures, stabilizing inflation, growing reserves, and aligning with major institutions like the IMF. Now, as July 7 approaches, we're seeing early indicators that validate long-held expectations. Recently leaked Forex indicators show projected exchange rates ranging from $5.20 to $6.00 United States dollars per IQD, a historic shift, if confirmed. In response, U.S. banks are updating foreign currency policy frameworks and preparing for heavy redemption volume. The dinar is no longer seen as a risky gamble but as a strategically timed investment grounded in sound economic progress and bank-confirmed signals. Vietnamese Dong joins the global conversation. The Vietnamese Dong has long been treated as a minor currency with limited appeal outside regional trade. But Vietnam's stunning economic evolution, fueled by manufacturing, free trade deals, and strategic reforms, has changed that perspective. The State Bank of Vietnam is reportedly aligning its monetary policy with broader international financial systems, with insiders hinting at upcoming recalibration tied to a larger currency overhaul. Meanwhile, U.S. banks are preparing quietly but deliberately. Dong-specific exchange equipment has been installed at major branches, particularly in high-value markets. Estimated revaluation figures suggest the VND could rise to $2.90385 United States cents, potentially delivering life-changing outcomes to early holders. This isn't a localized or isolated effort. It's part of a wider institutional shift involving global financial players. Zimbabwe. From collapse to comeback. No other currency has seen such dramatic swings as the Zimbabwean dollar, ZWL. Once a case study in hyperinflation and policy failure, the ZWL is now seeing a slow but steady resurgence. Through gold-backed reserves, IMF-supported debt reforms, and a strong effort to rebuild transparency, Zimbabwe has begun to rewrite its economic story. Internal reports from Scotiabank and TD Bank now show preloaded ZWL exchange rates between 12 cents and $0.28 United States cents, a dramatic climb from near zero value. Bank branches in U.S. states like Nevada, Georgia, and Michigan are reportedly prepping for ZWL redemptions in tandem with IQD and VND, marking the ZWL's return to legitimacy. This turnaround is not just economic, it's symbolic. It's a story of redemption for a currency once written off completely. Confirmation phase. Private appointments underway. As July 7 nears, top-tier currency holders are reporting encrypted email invitations from Wells Fargo Private Banking, Chase Premier Services, and Bank of America Wealth Management. These emails include QR-coded links, scheduled time slots, NDAs for digital signature, secure branch access instructions. Branches are being outfitted with biometric scanners, secure rooms, and 24/7 surveillance, evidence that these aren't routine banking visits but part of a high-level, protected exchange protocol. For mid and lower-tier investors who haven't yet received a link, the guidance is clear: be ready. Prepare clean, undamaged currency notes. Keep receipts and documentation organized. Update all personal identification and contact details with banks. Appointments are limited, time-sensitive, and critical. Expert analysis. This is no longer a theory. Top financial analysts and economists are weighing in. Dr. Felix Martin of the London School of Economics described the pattern of movements as evidence of a controlled financial correction involving multiple international institutions. Jonathan Wilkes, a former IMF advisor, noted that the U.S. Treasury's silence is itself a signal, mirroring historical precedents ahead of policy shifts. Samantha Chong, a Forex strategist, confirmed a five-fold increase in IQD and VND interbank trades over the last week, calling it classic pre-revaluation activity. Collectively, these statements add legitimacy to what was once dismissed as speculation. It's now clear that the banking world is not reacting to rumors, but executing a globally coordinated script. Post-RV outlook. Volatility and opportunity. Once the revaluations begin, experts anticipate immediate trading surges, particularly in Forex and commodities markets tied to participating countries. Central banks are expected to freeze rates temporarily to stabilize liquidity and prevent market shocks. Early access will be reserved for Tier 1 and 2 institutions such as hedge funds, sovereign wealth portfolios, and elite private banking arms. Retail holders Tier 3 and 4 may experience brief delays, but urgency remains. Contract rates may shift rapidly and disappear once early targets are met. The World Bank and IMF may issue synchronized guidance to support clarity during this transition. The global stage. Behind-the-scenes coordination. While U.S. banks are leading on the ground, the blueprint appears to be driven by larger international bodies. In late June, the IMF hosted a confidential policy summit with over 40 countries. Sources say the main focus was on exchange stability and liquidity planning. Simultaneously, the Bank for International Settlements (BIS) updated its global settlement systems, enabling digital ledger tracking specifically for Iraq, Vietnam, and Zimbabwe, a clear sign of modernization efforts. Freedom of information requests have uncovered U.S. Treasury budget allocations labeled for foreign asset liquidity events scheduled for early July, fitting perfectly into the emerging timeline. This isn't a random event. It's a multi-layered, institutionally backed financial reset with systems already in place to maintain order and continuity. Final preparations. What investors must do now. As the final days count down, here's what every currency holder must prioritize. 1. Only submit pristine notes. Damaged, torn, or marked bills may be disqualified. 2. Retain proof of purchase, receipts, certificates, and records speed up processing. 3. Update personal documents, ID, address proof, tax IDs, and entity paperwork. 4. Be tax ready. W-9 and 1099 forms may be issued on site. Consult with a CPA early. 5. Stay silent. NDAs are legally binding. Public disclosure may lead to exclusion. 6. Stay focused. Approach this moment with seriousness and discipline. Conclusion. From speculation to execution. For over a decade, currency revaluation talk existed on the fringes of finance. Mainstream outlets ignored it. Skeptics mocked it. Only the steadfast believed. But now, all signs point to July 7th as the moment when the speculation ends and execution begins. This isn't fiction anymore. It's a globally coordinated, institutionally managed financial turning point that could rival the biggest economic moments in recent history. Whether you hold IQD, VND, or ZWL, you may be more than just a hopeful investor. You could be standing on the edge of a once-in-a-lifetime transformation. Are you ready?